Hello and welcome everyone to another show with yours truly, the Kaizen Investor. Tonight we are talking about an extremely important topic, money mindset. We hear about it, you hear people talking about it, but how does one develop an actual money mindset? What's a good mindset? What's a bad mindset? So to have this conversation, I decided to bring on my new friend, Candice of Prosper with Candice. So let's pull Candice on and say hello. Hi, Candice.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm happy to have you on tonight. So, Candice, for the people here on YouTube land and also for my family on Instagram, can you let them know who you are and what you do?
Yes. Hello, everyone. So my name is Candice Lantham, and my purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower, people who are the first generation in their families to go to college to just live a prosperous life. Because I believe that the first step is believing that you can even live a prosperous life in the first place. So that's really what my purpose is. And I'm also a marketing specialist, and I have a business where I help business owners with their branding and graphics.
Sweet. So, how did Candice become Prosper with Candice? How did that all come about?
Yeah. So at first my name was changed. So at first I had a brand called Young Yet Wise, and then I transitioned to just being Candice Latham. And then I was like, wait, I'm getting married soon. So then my last name's going to change again. So I was just like trying to find a word that I felt was a good word for me to represent me. And Prosper came up. So I was like, oh, Prosper with Candice.
That's dope. I like that. It has a ring to it.
Oh, thank you.
It does. Everyone wants to be prosperous.
Yes, prosper is such a good word because it could mean finances, but then it's also other meanings as well, just like well-being. Mm-hmm. I want to prosper and have peace. I want to prosper and be able to be myself. Like, just so many words can be attached to prosper.
Mm-hmm. So, Candice, throughout your journey, and also what I love is the fact that so far you have been documenting your journey of creating a prosperous life for yourself.
Yes.
What has that journey been like?
This journey, wow, it's a continuous journey, but it started, I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts, so born and raised in Boston. I didn't really grow up learning about money, so I kind of had to just teach myself how to start managing my money and how to start paying off debt. So I went to college. I had graduated college with $38,000 of student loan debt. And then I ended up paying off my student loan debt. So that's kind of where the journey started. I started just kind of documenting my journey of paying off this debt that I had while being able to start investing and growing my net worth from the negatives into the positives.
So far, you started $38,000 in student loan debt, which honestly is significant, but it isn't as bad.
I know. Yeah.
You looked out.
I feel blessed because like I went to RIT. So back then, like 1 year of college was like, $47,000 a year.
Yeah.
And so to be able to graduate with less than a year's worth of tuition, I did feel like it was a blessing.
I'm clapping it up for you right now because that's major. Seriously, that's major. So many people exit college with six figures, like super high student loan debt. So
I know.
How does one how does one transition going ahead, paying down debt, keeping a positive attitude? Because you seem so positive. Every time I see you posting and you're like, just knock this down, just pay this off.
Oh, yeah.
What's that process like?
You have to have a positive outlook on the things that you want to achieve. Because I find that it's more difficult if I don't feel good about, creating a budget or saving money and paying down debt and investing. It's going to be hard for me to take those steps to build wealth and to pay off this debt. So I think everything does start with your mindset, because if you don't think good thoughts and if you don't believe that something is possible for you, you're not going to do it. So I had to change my mind and have, taking care of my finances, building wealth be like my new definition of just luxury versus just buying, all of these sneakers and all of these jewelry and all of these clothes, right? So I have to kind of adjust my mindset to, what, this can be a new definition for me.
But here's my follow-up question to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the preface and reason why I'm so happy to have you on the show tonight, because we see it. It's a very sexy topic. Oh yeah, you just gotta, just gotta get the right mindset, and you just gotta build it, you just gotta do it, and hashtag mindset. What does mindset mean to you?
So to me, mindset means like our brain has the ability to grow. Mm-hmm. Our brain is like a sponge, right? So from the day that we're born here on a blank canvas, right? Yep. So we're born here not knowing what's possible for us, what we can't do. But suddenly, when the house that we grow up in, the environment, the stories we hear from friends, from teachers, they start placing their own beliefs, and those beliefs get trapped in our mind. Yeah. Right. So now we're like, we started with the blank canvas, but as we grow, look, the painting behind me, we start adding all of these colors and all of these thoughts and all these beliefs of what is even possible for us. And so for me, mindset is being aware of what are those thoughts going on in my brain and creating my own new canvas and based off of what I want to accomplish, and not what the world has told me and what thoughts my brain has sponged up.
Yes. And would you agree or disagree with the statement that developing, and I personally call it curating, because a part of mindset to me is building and curating the right environment around you, curating the type of stuff that you consume, because like you said, we are sponges.
Yeah.
Period. Point blank. We are all impressionable. We always assume that children are the only ones who are impressionable, but we as adults are impressionable.
We are very impressionable.
Yeah. So with that, I love the fact that you have developed a positive mindset, especially when it comes to paying down debt, because a lot of people don't even think positively about that.
Yeah.
But number two is, I just want to know this. For you growing up, what were some beliefs you had about money that you recognized now were lies? Because there's limiting beliefs and there's abundant beliefs, right? Positive beliefs. So for you growing up, what were some things that were some limiting beliefs about money that you recognized that was never true?
Yeah, some limiting beliefs around money is one belief that I really had to change is that just because I have money doesn't mean that I have to like prove it with the items that I have, because it was just like growing up, when you grow up in the inner city, like that's how we're proving that we have wealth, is by what we're wearing, the clothes that we have, the jewelry that we're wearing. So that I had to like overcome that at first, because I used to have like so many shoes. It's like 3 weeks I didn't have to repeat a shoe. It's like 3 weeks. I'm like, oh, I can't wear that shoe. I just wore it last week, So that was my idea that I had to change. Like, okay, and it wasn't until I was maybe a junior in high school and I had made $10,000 that year. And when I filed my taxes, they let me know I made $10,000, but I had no money in my bank account. I'm like, where is all this money? But of course, I'm looking around. I got a 2-finger ring on that says candy on it. Like, I got sneakers, I got earrings, I have all these things, but I had no money in the bank. So something had to change.
Whoa. Can we scroll back? How was the sophomore making 10K? 10K annually. Is that what that was? 10K annually?
That was just that 1 year, because I was in like a urban scholars program where we would receive a stipend. And then I also did like babysitting at a ski resort on the weekend. So nice. I was able to make $10,000. Yeah.
All right, Candice. Candice is a hustler. I like that, Candice. I'm feeling that, Candice. That's excellent, though. Seriously, that's excellent. So moving forward to now, what are some things that you do to create and maintain a positive mindset around money?
So one thing that I've been doing is just paying attention to what's going on in my brain. I think that's a good place to start, because sometimes you might not even be aware of why you think the way that you think about money, because it's just so deeply ingrained into you. So I had to just start being aware of, okay, what are those beliefs that, my parents taught me? What kind of words or phrases that I hear growing up about money? And then are these things true, right? Are these things true for me right now? How do I know they're not true? And do I want my new beliefs to be? What do I want the new phrases around money and to be playing in my head, versus the ones that are currently there? So I kind of had to just start like journaling, just answering questions about, what do I really think right now about money? What do I believe is possible for me? And then that's when I could start. It's not like an overnight process, right? Yeah, you have to keep like keep journaling, keep answering those questions, keep repeating the new money phrases in your head as you're taking the little baby steps, the little daily actions.
I love that you say that. Journaling is a huge thing for me personally. That's a huge thing. Writing it down. That's another phenomenal woman who's coming on the platform pretty soon, Jamie Jordan. She always says, what is it? Speak it, write it, live it. You have to speak it first. Yes, you got to speak it first, then you got to write it down, then you got to run out and live it.
Yes, it's so true.
It's powerful.
Speak it, write it, live it.
Mm-hmm. And that's how over time it becomes embedded in your brain. And once it becomes embedded in your brain, it then becomes your identity.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Sorry, I had a group call. The family, they're always calling.
It's all right. It becomes your identity. And so the other thing about that, which I love, and I also see you do, is I call it having that experiential moment, right? Which is sometimes, and it can be little things. It can be where people are often encouraged, like I think, who is it? Neo Davis says it often, which I love. Go out and rent your luxury car, that dream car that you've always wanted for yourself. That is an experience. Then once you experience that, it makes that goal all the more tangible to you, realer for you. So here's my question for you, my dear.
Yes.
What is one moment where you experience something and you recognize, this is the way I deserve to be living, or this is one thing about the type of wealth that I want to experience and have as the standard for me? Is it, well, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
So you're saying what is like an experience that I had that made me kind of change my perspective?
Exactly.
So for me, it was going to this conference called Fincon, because this was like the first time I was just meeting people who were really just living a life on their own terms. They were paying down debt. They were already debt free. Some of them were already retired. I didn't even know this was even possible. I was just like, they had their own businesses. They were making, 6 figures a month. And I'm like, what? It was just a whole new world for me. So I think that was kind of when my mind started thinking differently.
Candice, when did you go to FinCon?
Oh man, I feel like I've been to like 5 or 6 FinCons now. So
nice.
My first one was the one when it was in New Orleans.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what year that was, but
okay. You're a FinCon vet then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Respect. I went to my first one, which was the last one prior to the pandemic, which was here in DC. So that was convenient.
Oh, nice.
And it was, yes. I can co-sign on that. FinCon is epic for multiple reasons. But one of them, like you're saying, just being in the rooms with people who have created life on their own terms, financially. And that's something. It really, really is. So, Candice, here we are. And this is all great and dandy. And it's cute. However, someone just put a ring on it, right? You're engaged.
Yes, I'm engaged now. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great. Now, what I love is the fact that you openly share both you and your fiance's financial goals. What was it like dating and up to now creating your financial relationship and making sure you both were on the same page?
Yeah, so it's interesting because at first we were just friends, and like a few years ago, he had hired me to be his money coach. And so like I was like helping him work through his budget, so I'm seeing like all these like traveling and all these trips at the bar. I'm like, you're spending a lot of money going out, right? Like, maybe we need to reel that in. So it kind of started there as like just helping with his budget. But then once we actually started dating, we thought it would be a good idea to just have monthly money meetings, like monthly / relationship meetings. So we meet once a month, usually on like the 15th of the month, and we just go over our finances. Like, okay, what's your net worth? What's my net worth? What are our goals? We're planning a wedding right now. How much money is in the wedding account? How much money are we putting into the wedding account each month? And so, yeah, it's just been really helpful to be on the same page with our finances and just be open about where we are, because we are essentially building this life together. Yeah. So it's like, what do we want that life to look like in the future? And then just working backwards from there.
So wait a second. When you guys have your monthly money meetings, is this just code for a budgeting meeting?
It's like, we call it like money retro, because we're also talking about a relationship in there as well. We're like, okay, what are some curiosities that you have this month? What's working in our relationship? What's not working? So it's like money mixed with the relationship.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what goals do you guys have for the near future financially for yourselves? Big or small?
So right now we're saving for a wedding. So we want to have a debt-free wedding. We're getting married in October, so that's one goal. And then we're saving for a house as well. So those are like our two big goals right now.
Nice. Very, very nice. Oh, I like that. So, Candice, I'm going to turn the page and we're going to talk about something a little bit different, but still on topic of mindset.
All right, awesome.
Now, here's my question for you. Candice, what was your very first business?
My very first business was, my blog. I had a blog. That was kind of the first kind of business I had, or like website.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started a skincare business after that. So I had two
what?
at the same time.
Really?
Yeah, I just got I started a skincare business shortly after the blog. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, do you still have the skincare and blog business, or those have since retired?
No, I don't have the skincare business anymore, but the blog just morphed into what it is today, just CandiceLantham.com.
Mm. Now, Candice, the reason why I'm asking this is because everyone's entrepreneurial journey is different. However, every entrepreneurial journey is challenging.
Yes.
Period. Period.
Very true. It's not easy.
No, it's not. So for you, Candice, starting out to where you are now, if you can turn around and give some advice to the Candice who was just starting out, what would you tell her when it comes to starting your business?
Okay, if I can give some advice to the Candice and she was just starting her business, I would tell her to use her gifts and skills, and to be, because this is what happened. It was like I started this blog talking about money, and then that's what I wanted to, be this full-time entrepreneur in. But when money was coming, it was coming because of my design and marketing skills, right? So I had like these two things. It was like, God, I want to make money this way, but you're sending me business from this thing over here, right? So eventually it was like, I had to surrender to my gifts and being able to do both at the same time, because this is what's bringing in the money at the moment.
Yeah.
And this is your passion, right? This is your passion. This is your lifelong purpose, but this is the thing that's keeping the lights on. So yeah, I think that just embracing your gifts and skills while you are also still have passions that you want to pursue.
That's excellent. It's so funny because in many ways that is such a classic experience of entrepreneurship, because in many ways you have no idea. You think that this is the way you're going to go, right? In many ways, like, oh, this is it. This is one thing. Let's go. And you dive in, and it is like U-turn.
It is. It's like up and down.
It is. It is. So here's my question for you. What's the last time you had to recognize that you needed to be patient? No one likes that word, but that's a necessary quality to develop. What's the last time you had to recognize?
When's the last time I had to recognize to be patient? I think I'm just recognizing that every day. I have to be patient about something, because it's so easy to get frustrated. But there is no overnight success, right? Success is just people who every day they're waking up and they're taking small steps towards their goals.
Yeah.
So I think that every day I have to be patient. Every day, I don't get to work on all the things I want to work on. So yeah, I think every day I have to have patience.
That's very, very true. I think about that often because it's an interesting space to be in. And let me know if you've experienced this too, you and everyone here in the chat. It's the fact that when you are building something, you're happy with what you're building. There's an excitement that builds with it, right? There's an excitement that comes with it, especially initially. Yeah. But then when you get into the thick of the everyday grind of it, then the thrill is gone and the work sets in. And that's okay when you are by yourself in your bubble. Yeah. But it becomes very interesting when you're in this bubble, but the bubble no longer contains you. It contains an ecosystem of other people who are building. And you love watching other people build. However, sometimes watching other people build can be distracting.
It can. Yeah.
And sometimes watching other people build can create this false belief that you're building too slowly, that you're building the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Or, those things. Either you're building too slowly, or you're building the wrong thing. Those are the two things I've noticed over a period of time. So I've noticed over time for myself, I'm like, okay, Gia, stay in your lane, focus on your work, do it well. And it
Yes.
actually goes very well with the post that you made. Oh my goodness. I don't have it on my notes.
Focus on your lane, do it well. And also, if this is supposed to be, a lifelong something that if I'm saying I want to empower and inspire and educate people and I'm a lifelong learner, like it's not really a race. It's like every day I'm saying this is what I want. So it's not about what other people are doing. Yeah. I don't know what other people's mission and goals are, right? So I can't get caught up in comparing myself to where they are on their journey. And also, we don't even know if people are happy, right?
That's a good point.
I can see the outside. Nobody is fact checking on Instagram, and I can't see the happiness meter in their real life. So it's like I feel good on the inside when I wake up. So, and there was this speaker, and he said, if you could just throw all your problems onto a stage, somebody would probably grab your problems, right? And then you'll be left with somebody else's problems that you're like, wait, I want my own problems. I'm just gonna keep my own happiness because I know, how I feel every day when I wake up, and that's something that I don't know about what anybody else's experience is like. So that's what kind of keeps me focused.
That's so true. I like that. Keep you focused and keep you focusing on the blessings of what our own problems may be. And are they really problems?
I know. Are they really problems?
Are they really problems? I remember, I forgot who told me. They were like, is a problem really a problem if you already know the solution? And I love that. Like we know the solution. You know, is it really a problem then?
That's true. Sometimes we do know the solution. I think also what gets us off track is that we're sometimes following procedures from everybody else that looks like they're winning. But just because you're doing something everybody else is doing doesn't mean that it's going to specifically work for you. So now you're slowing yourself down essentially because you're like, oh, they're doing this. Let me do this too. And now you was on the right track, but now you're on another path. And now it's going to take you longer to get back on the main path versus if you just stuck to what you were going to do originally and not got caught up in the distractions of what everyone else was doing.
Oh, that's fire, Candice. Oh, that's good. I forgot about that's so true though. Because
it's so true.
And that's the first thing we usually do. And we usually seek out counsel, and that's important. But seeking out the right counsel is key.
The right counsel is key. And then believing in yourself enough. Because belief is important too, and even in business. Because if you don't even believe, it's going to be hard for you to even sell what you're doing.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. And then I think it's interesting because you can easily have two people. It's almost like you can have those that you seek out, once again, seeking out the right counsel, right? The right counsel, the right advisors. And then you have well-meaning people who give unsolicited advice on all things, money, entrepreneurship, relationships, all of that.
Yeah.
All of that. So, Candice, for you, how do you keep your blinders on and tune out the nonsense so you can listen in on what you really need to hear in it?
Yeah, so for me, I started meditating. Meditation has helped me. I use the Calm app usually after my workouts in the morning. So meditating and also journaling too, and just having specific questions that I'm asking myself and just reflecting each day. Reflecting each day helps me because when I realize that when I'm not meditating, when I'm not journaling, my thoughts are just run off. And I could be feeling some kind of way 3 weeks from now. And in 3 weeks, I haven't journaled, I haven't meditated. And I don't even know why I'm feeling this way because it's been so long since I've checked in with myself. And now so if I get into a habit of meditating more often and journaling more often, now I'm able to catch how I'm feeling. I'm able to catch what challenges am I overcoming? What thoughts are keeping me stuck right now? And, are you able to reconsider a new thought, like a new belief? So just checking in with myself has really been able to help me stay grounded and just not block out the noise.
I like that. Seriously, because I think that's one of the hugest gaps that people fail to recognize is the need for self-awareness.
Yeah. It's true. It's like you can join all of the coaching programs, buy all the ebooks, all of the group coaching, all the courses. But if you don't have that self-awareness about your journey and what you truly want, no one else can tell you that. It's not in a book somewhere. And I got an email from like Quora, that website, and somebody was like, "Hey, I'm 27 years old. I never had a job. I don't have an education. I don't know what to do with my life. What book should I read? Is there a book to help me fix all my problems?" Right? That was a question somebody asked, and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, no! There's no book that's gonna have everything you need to know for to help you solve your problems."
Outside, I'm biased. I would say the Bible, but outside of that,
outside of the Bible, yes, outside of the Bible, but even the Bible, you still have to like reflect and figure it out. You have to decode it. You have to decode even that.
Exactly, man. But that's so true though, because I find that there are people who are spinning their wheels over and over and over again. And they're doing what they think is massive action. But if it's massive action without clear direction, then you're wasting energy.
You are wasting energy. I love that. You're going to have to repeat that. It could be massive. If it's massive action, so it's the wrong thing, you're wasting energy.
You're wasting energy. And think about it. I mean, the brand, I call myself the Kaizen Investor, right? Kaizen is just Japanese for a change for the better, right? Improving.
Oh, I love that.
Improving. And for me, I stretch it to improving oneself, right? Because once you understand that the most important investment you can ever make is an investment in yourself. Getting that first. Understanding that first, everything else you do will benefit. Once you understand that, no, I have to invest in me first.
It's true.
Exactly. So with that, it does take a high level of, what is it? Not personal awareness, self-awareness. There you go. I lost the word for a second. It takes a high level of self-awareness.
It does.
So that is not sexy because no one wants that. They just want the ebook on how to become a millionaire in 5 minutes. It's just like, friend.
It's not sexy. You're right. Everybody wants the answers today, right now. Like, how can I do this in the shortest amount of time? But that's where that patience comes in,
Yeah.
Because if you keep doing the wrong things, you're wasting time either way, because you're going to have to keep starting over. You're eventually going to have to start over to get to your true purpose, your true north anyway. So it's like you might as well have that self-awareness and, the reflection and journaling and just investing in yourself to figure out what path you should be on.
And that's why I love talking to you, Candice, because I really appreciate your platform, because you do a beautiful job of helping people to see the correlation between that and money. Because people don't understand that our beliefs, how I think, how I choose to direct myself, has a direct correlation with how and what I do my money, what I do with my money.
Yeah, it does. It is related. You cannot believe something and then take the action steps to accomplish it. If you don't believe, how can you take the action? But sometimes it's like you have to like trick yourself. Like I was reading this book and it said, even if you don't fully believe in something, just try to test it. Test this belief. Like if just test it one time and take the action and then just see what happens.
Yes. There is, if y'all on Instagram aren't familiar, make sure there's a phenomenal gentleman who I adore. He's another wonderful mentor of mine, Mario Armstrong. I love Mario Armstrong. And he always says that if there's one way to attempt to build a new mindset for yourself, the first step is to separate yourself, right, from that experience. So the easiest way to separate yourself from experience when you're trying out something new is to label it as an experiment.
Yeah.
So if you are trying, like a business owner, anyone here, I want to try to build my platform on Instagram or on TikTok or wherever, right? Instead of saying, I am doing this, just say, well, I'm experimenting with it right now. That word experimenting is powerful because it disconnects you from the results. Because, it could either be bomb or it could be a huge fail. Either way, it does not...
It allows you to be like a scientist versus this is who I am. And oh my gosh, what if I fail? People are watching. And it's like, but this is just an experiment. Like I told you guys,
So you can take that and ride with it. You can take that and ride with it when it comes to any aspect of entrepreneurship. You can take that and ride with it when it comes to any aspect of it, of investing, right? You can say, I'm learning stocks and I'm experimenting with options. I'm experimenting with trading. I'm experimenting with mobile homes. I'm experimenting with real estate. It takes it off. And the other key thing with taking off that personal connection to it, you're more apt to listen to wise advisors when they give you professional critiques.
I like that. Because now it doesn't feel as personal. It's not like you. It's like, well, they're just telling me about this experiment that I'm working on.
Exactly. That's it. That's all. And so to parlay that into developing a strong mindset, there's a lot of things that people say that people should try, right? Like I'm a huge proponent, I'm happy you said that, about writing and journaling. To a person that it may not come natural to them, it may feel weird at first. So I always say, well, once again, you're just experimenting. So today, make an experiment that you write down one sentence every day about how your day felt. Or my friend, what she does, I'm like, it's a start. She's like, I just write an emoji. I'm like, how do you write an emoji or whatever? I don't no idea where that came from. So okay.
Yeah.
But either way, that is starting a habit, a pattern of tracking. That's all that is. Journaling is a form of tracking. You're not judging what you journal. You're just tracking your emotions and your feelings. And that is the first way of checking in on where you're at mentally.
Yes. And it's important.
It's huge. It's huge. Another portion of that I adore is that some people actually do little voice diaries if people don't like to write. They'll use like the voice note on their apps, and they'll just say a little ditty about what happened during the day or how they're feeling or why they're feeling, and then that's it. And it's just yours, however it may be. However, I do find it to be necessary to track where you're at mentally, because if you can't track it, then you can't treat it.
Exactly. Right? You don't know why you're feeling the way you're feeling. You're just upset for no reason one day. You're just like, why am I upset today?
Yeah, and the powerful thing about tracking it and understanding yourself, learning yourself, is that you're able to treat it, you're able to change it, and you can also learn what your triggers are.
Yes.
I know what triggers me now, and so now instead of my funk being, because we all get into a funk, instead of my funk lasting 2 weeks, it can last for 2 days, maybe 2 hours.
Exactly.
I know now. I should not have talked to such and such. I should not have watched that movie. I know
exactly. And my mom, actually, she grew up doing that to us. Like, we would come home from school or after school program, and if we felt some kind of way or we were in a mood, she would ask us. That was the first question, like, who are you talking to today?
Yep.
Who are you hanging out with? You know, like, what friends of yours were you on the phone with yesterday? I'm like, and I would just be like, Mom, it's not that serious, right? I'm like, whatever, Mom. But now I'm like, oh my gosh, she was trying to teach me like self-awareness, like, and just backtrack my steps. Because it's like, if one moment you were happy, now you're not happy. What happened in that in-between stage?
Yes.
And how do you get it back? You got to get it back, you know? So I love that reflection.
And vice versa, right? You just said to get it back. Going back to those times when times were really, really good for you, when you were in a really good space mentally and emotionally.
Yes.
And for those who are watching, if that is now, write it down. Like, what is it about it right now? What is it? Who are you talking to? What are you watching? What are you eating? All those little things, because then you can create it, and then you can fabricate it when you need to fabricate it, and then you can create a life that is centered around it, like
around the things that bring you joy. I love it.
Seriously, I often talk about with my family about your environment, right? Everyone's familiar with, I know it's kind of woo-woo, what's it called? Feng Shui, right?
Yeah.
Like having things in the right areas. I don't know too much about that. I know the basics. But here's the truth. As humans, we are influenced and are affected by our environment. And for those who say, oh, that sounds corny. No, it's true. You know why? When you walk into a nice hotel and everything is glitzy, how do you feel?
Oh, you feel good.
You feel good. Automatically. You haven't even paid one night, but you sit in that lot.
It's just a whole different experience.
The vibe is different.
The vibe is different.
The vibe is different. So it's the same with, seriously, it's the same with our own home and environment. Creating an environment that allows us to feel safe, that allows us to feel that we are successful, that the wealth that we have is truly a rich wealth, an inner wealth.
Yes. I love that.
An inner wealth. Because that inner wealth is priceless.
It is. It is.
Jeff Bezos don't got this inner wealth. Like, not mine.
Not yours. Everybody is different. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, if we're comparing ourselves to other people's lives, but we don't know what anybody feels like when they wake up in the morning. I know what I feel like, and I'm keeping this happy feeling, you know? But I love that. Just finding more items that bring you joy, creating an environment where you feel good. And if you don't have that environment right now, like, it's like, what are some things you can do? Because I didn't always have, you know, the greatest environment, and I could just take walks and feel safe in my neighborhood. It wasn't always like that. So when I was in that space, that's when my mindset had to really kick in, because it had to be like, you know, I'm not going to be here forever. Like, one day it's going to be different. I'm going to be in an environment where I could take a jog and not worried about, you know, a drive-by happening or something, you know? So that's when my mindset really had to kick in. Like, there's more for me out there than this.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing, that gives me goosebumps, that line, that there's more for me out there than this.
Yeah.
Let me meditate on that.
Okay. You know, even if we flip the page back to even like dating, you know, it's the same thing. It's like, you know, I was dating, you know, different men back in the day, in the past, and it's just like, is this the story that I want to end up in forever? Like, I don't know if this is a story, right? I feel like there's more to me. There's more than this, right? There's more. I can have more than this. Like, this doesn't have to be where I end and write my book. I can start again, because I'm not really happy in this story.
I don't have any words. That was good. That was good. It's true. It's true. It's all very true. It's all very true. And so with that, it's important because understanding, let me scale this back. The reason why it is important for people to understand, to experience your own inner wealth, your own moment of prosperity, right? You feel good in your home. You feel good. It's because prosperity begets prosperity. Meaning that it has a ripple effect, right?
Yes.
I shouldn't say ripple, excuse me, a domino effect. It actually does. And I'll speak for myself, which is once I actually open myself up, which is the key, which I love in your tagline about being open to thinking differently, right?
Yes.
That's the gateway. Opening her up to the idea of thinking differently about money is step one. Because once you're open to conversation, then you are ready to listen and ready to hear. Then, once again, when the student is ready, then the teacher will come, right?
True.
Yeah. Teacher comes. And that teacher on social media is the algorithm. Because what happens? What happens? You start Googling things. You start looking up things. And guess what? The algorithm figures out, oh, Candice is looking for, money management, money coaching. Oh, okay. Wealth building. Oh, okay. Generational wealth. Oh, okay. Boom. Let me show this person all that information. And then you go down this beautiful rabbit hole. But none of that starts until we are open to the idea of thinking differently about money. Because the opposite is just as true. There's a lot of people who create content that promotes this idea of fear mongering with money. Lack. And that's not true.
True. So it's like, it's up to us to choose what we want to believe. And I also saw this quote today about just how, you know, YouTube has an algorithm, social media, Instagram has an algorithm. Like, our thoughts are also like an algorithm of life. Like, what do we want? What are we thinking of? What are we focusing on? What are we believing is true for us? And then life is just kind of giving us that, whatever we believe.
Exactly. Oh, that's good, Candice. That's true.
It is so true.
Really. So here's my question for you, Ms. Candice. Money coaching, what does that involve, and how do you help people build a better mindset while you money coach?
Yes. So I always say that money mindset is like the first step when I am working with people. Right now, I'm not taking on that many clients right now. I'm only working right now with one couple at the moment. But when I'm working with them, like the first session that we did have was on money mindset and just learning more about their money history. You know, how did they grow up thinking about money? How did their parents manage money? Because if you're not aware of it, you could just be, again, our brain is like a sponge. We come into the world as a blank canvas, and now we're just painting what everybody else told us the world should be or what our limits were. So what I'm doing, one second. I think that mindset is the first step, because if you don't believe something is possible for you, then it's going to be hard for you to follow this plan that I'm telling you should follow. It's going to be hard for you to be like, to stick to your budget. It's going to be hard for you to take the action steps of this vision that you told me you wanted to create if we don't first start with, what are your thoughts about money? And do you believe that you can even accomplish these things? And if not, why do you believe that isn't true for you?
You know what I love about that? It's because you basically break it down to, like you said earlier, what's the narrative? Everyone has a narrative. Everyone has a money story.
Yes.
And sometimes we can think that our money story is everyone's money story.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like everyone, I should say everyone. There's a vast majority of people who believe in the haves and the have-nots, and either what side they're on.
Yep.
that show. And so to be willing to open ourselves to the narrative that even though, because everyone's life experiences are true, right? So
Mm-hmm.
even though you had once had and had once observed a negative money story experience, you have
Yep.
lived it. You have
Mm-hmm.
grown up seeing your parents struggle. You
Yep.
yourself may be struggling right now or have been struggling in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Being open to the idea that, like you said, you can still change that narrative.
Yes, there's still time.
Totally. Totally. So the understanding that narrative can be changed and can be
Mm-hmm.
modified into whatever happy ever after you want that to be for yourself is a reality.
Yes, and you have to want it too. You know, like you said, everybody's story is different, and that's why we have to keep our eyes on our own paper, keep those blinders on. Like, what do I want? Because I want it, not because I saw Sally post a quote about it, and now I want this too. Sally over here living this best life, and now I want what Sally has.
That's very true. So, Candice, how do you keep yourself in a positive space? What do you like to read? What do you like to listen to? Are there books you like to read? Is it music? What is it? What keeps Candice in a positive headspace?
So, positive headspace. I like to wake up and I usually pray, and then I work out, and then I do like a meditation, I journal and just reflect for how I'm feeling right now for the day. What are my goals? You know, if I'm focusing on any affirmations at the moment, what are those affirmations? And then I just, go get ready, eat my breakfast, make a smoothie. But yeah, a positive headspace for me is if I'm learning. I'm like a lifelong learner. That's one of my values. So I have to be learning something. Right now I'm reading a money mindset book. I've been just so set on like money mindset. So I'm reading a money mindset book. I listen to different podcasts, in the background while I'm designing something or working on client work. I'm trying to think of any. So yeah, that's really how and going for walks, in nature, being outside. I like the outdoors. So that's kind of what keeps me in a clear headspace.
What money mindset book are you reading right now?
It's a book called Liminal Thinking.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
It's called Liminal. Am I saying it right? Liminal Thinking. Hold on. LIM. Liminal. Yeah. Liminal Thinking. And it's called Create the Change You Want by Changing the Way You Think.
Oh, I have to add that to my list.
Yes.
Liminal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So liminal is like, I believe the word means to just recreate something, like recreate a new thought, like just to recreate, like liminal thinking.
All right. I will have to look into that. Seriously.
No, yeah, it's
awesome.
it's an easy book. They have a lot of like great graphics. So yeah, I've been just in the mindset space right now.
I love that. So Candice, if people want to reach out and find out how they can continue to work with Candice and build with Candice, how can they contact you?
Yes, so you guys can follow me on my Instagram. I'm at prosper_with_Candice. And I also have a money mindset belief worksheet, which I'm actually in the process of revamping. I'm revamping it right now, though. I'm revamping it, but if you sign up, I will send like a new version. I'm trying to think if there's a way I can put it to you in the chat or.
Yeah, yes, you can. Here's what you can do. Tell me now. And oopsie, wrong one. Okay. Let me edit it. All right, what is it?
CandiceLatham.com/getting-unstuck.
Ooh, Latham.com.
Let's put it in the chat too.
Oh, thank you. Let's do that.
LathamCanty.com/getting-unstuck.
Getting.
So yeah, I'm in the process of revamping that. That's an old one, but I've learned so much more since I've created that one that I do want to put some new stuff in there.
Okay, wait. Let me see if I can get it to come up. Is that correct? Look on the screen.
Getting-unstuck.
Ooh, okay. Let's fix that. Getting-unstuck. Let's see. Save. Check it again. Oh, save. Bear with me, you guys. Technology is not my best friend. How is that?
Yeah,
Boom.
that's good.
Okay. Good. All right. And I'll take that link and I'll put it in the chat.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yes, this has been such a great conversation. I really do hope that people, got something out of this, are going to start reflecting more on their day if they're not already right now.
I hope so too. Most definitely. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Please stay on the line, Candice, before I wrap up. Beautiful people who have been joining us on Instagram land. If you want to see the full interview, make sure to hit the link in my bio and head all over to YouTube. This video will be posted up there in about, let's say by tomorrow morning for sure. It'll be there by tomorrow morning. Okay? YouTube has to render videos. So everyone here on YouTube land, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Te amo, besos.